What is the cheapest way to buy tickets on Magic Online? The answer might surprise you. Hi, this is MTGO Life Hacks, and let's look at tickets. You might think it's a little bit puzzling that I have a whole long episode about this because, of course, here are tickets available in the Magic Online store. They cost $1. That's no big deal, right? You just put in your credit card and they're $1 each. Done. Except, maybe you think you can do better. Guess what? You can. In the first place, a lot of you don't want to buy tickets for $1 because they're not really $1. When you buy them from Magic the Gathering Online, they'll charge you for your state taxes, which might be pretty high. And actually, if you live in a state, a country in Europe, your taxes might be incredibly high compared to what us Yanks get. So what you want to do is look at alternatives to buy these tickets off the platform in a way that won't collect taxes. And this is pretty easy. There's a few big sites. They have a good reputation. You can buy tickets, you can sell tickets, and they've got their posted prices. And it looks like right now, of these sites, the best you can do is 99 cents per ticket. So like, yeah, woohoo, right? Even if you're not high tax, that's 99 cents. It's cheaper than $1. Yeah, okay. But if you're not paying high taxes, you can do even better. And the way you do that is you don't buy tickets, you buy packs and you turn them into tickets. I would say that about 90% of the time, the cheapest way to buy tickets per dollar is by buying packs. So let's take a look. Now, fortunately for us, GoatBots makes this really easy because they corral all of their non-regular booster cards at the bottom of each page. And that means that for the Planeswalker decks that don't come in regular boosters, we can take a quick glance at each page and figure out how much we would get if we bought a Planeswalker deck and sold all of it to GoatBots. All of the exclusive cards from Planeswalker decks sell for change, at least money, you know, and it's a little bit puzzling to me because, for example, all of the bad dual lands that come into play tapped lands, you can buy them in other sets for a fraction of a penny, but for some reason, I don't quite understand the Planeswalker deck versions that are only available in Planeswalker decks. They cost money, and you can sell them for money. So here it looks like, you know, we are selling boosters for $3, 30 something cents. So each Planeswalker deck comes with 2 boosters. And then we've got the foil card, that's $6 here. And then you got the rares. These are fake Planeswalker deck rares, 81 cents. Okay. So, I mean, you work out all the math, and it looks like if you sell all these cards, you'll come out a little bit ahead. So let's take a look at the other Planeswalker decks that are currently being offered. First, Ixalan, and no, these Planeswalkers are worth garbage. This is not going to work out. Now let's take a look at Rivals of Ixalan. Well, the boosters are really cheap here. They're selling for $156, but man, look at this. For whatever reason, Angrath's Fury, GoatBots is buying it for over 3 tickets. And there's 2 of them. There's 2 of them in a Planeswalker deck. So start to run the numbers, and yeah, it looks pretty good. The Planeswalker deck includes, obviously the foil. It includes 3 copies of this fake, uncommon Angrath's Ambusher. It includes, it looks like 4 copies of the other. It also has legitimate rares. It's got Barrage. It's not worth anything. And it's got Vanquisher's Banner, and that is worth a little bit something. So the value on this Planeswalker deck is quite good. If we just turned it over all directly to GoatBots, we wind up ahead. And so, yeah, maybe I should just cut off the video here, sell it to GoatBots when you see this condition, which again, I see like 90% of the time, at least on one Planeswalker deck, and get your tickets, move on. But you can do even better than that if you shop around. So let's shop around a little bit. So let's start with this Angrath's Fury. Let's take a look at some other sites. 2 that I like are the MTGO Traders buy list. The buy list is higher than their, the hot list. The hot list is higher than their regular buy price. And then the other thing that I like to look at, because it lags the other markets and it's so chaotic and bizarre, is MTGO wiki price. This is not a single market, by the way, for anyone that's not familiar with this page. All of these bots are not affiliated. All of the different bots have different credits. Each one of them is quite sketchy. Think of it like as Magic Online version of eBay, except that's giving it way too much credit. It's more like Magic Online version of Craigslist. And so if you're not familiar with the bot, you probably don't want to leave a lot of credit with it. But I like looking at this site because, again, it tends to lag the other markets, and therefore sometimes you can buy and sell things there for really good prices compared to goat bots in particular. So let's go ahead and take a look. Ambusher is better. That's a better price. And because it has 3 of them in there, it's worth selling it to quality cards just for the Ambusher, because you'll get over a ticket for it. And that's what you want to look at when you're dealing with a strange bot. If the individual transaction will leave you better off, because then you don't really fret that you have some fraction of a ticket with them, because by selling the 3 copies here, I get a ticket and then some change. Whereas on goat bots, I would have less than a ticket. Cinder Barons, they don't want on wiki price. And then the Swab Goblin, that's a little bit better too, 22 cents. Summing that up, it looks like there's 3 cards, and it's good here because they're all with this same bot on MTGO wiki price. They're all quality cards. And it says it wants 4 copies of Angrath's Fury at a very good price. And it wants 4 of them. So, you know, in this case, given the pricing that we have, I think I'm actually going to buy two of these Planeswalker decks. And that way I can dump all 4 copies of this Fury card into quality bots. When you look at the foil, remember there is no standard version, so on wiki price there's nothing there, and it looks like the quality bot is going to give me a little bit less than goat bots. So in sum, it looks like I'm selling the foil card itself and the lame common dual land 4 copies to goat bots, and then I'm going to sell all the other cards to this quality bot thing. So let's go. Let's buy this thing. And we got 2 copies, $29.98. That was our cost. If you're in a state with taxes, you know, it would cost you a little bit more. And let's see how many tickets we get. So basically, I'm going to make a new trade binder. Oh, you know what? Actually, I remember now. You need to open up the Planeswalker deck because it's going to add them as an item as other products, as if you would just trade around sealed Planeswalker decks. So you go to other products and you right click and open them. That's step number 1. And there's the cards. And so now I'm going to go back. And by the way, take a look at this. 4 tickets to start. And I made a new binder for trading out these cards. And so I'm just going to pull them up. All of these pre-constructed cards go at the very end of the list. So that makes it very nice. I'm going to put all of these, the cheapo dual lands in at one time, but goat bots will only buy 4 at a time. This is an important thing to know generally. It only buys 4 at a time, and after you sell or buy 4 of a card, goat bots will usually adjust the price against you. But in this case, I'm not really worried about that because the price it had on the Cinder Barons is so much better than any other price that it still makes sense for me to sell for whatever goat bots is going to buy them for. So our first trade, and we got 11 tickets and some change. I'm just going to reopen the trade right away so to buy the other 4 lands and, you know, get another ticket out of that. And see here it has adjusted the price against me, but it's still 1.12 tickets, which is better than I could get anywhere else, so I'll do that. If you want to, you can always sit on these cards. In particular, these exclusive commons and uncommons, they tend to go up a little bit in price. So in the Dominaria packs we looked at, for example, GoatBots was not paying more than 20 cents for all of them. But if you go back and look at the old Planeswalker decks, all of those cards sell for more money. And again, I don't even understand why. None of these are constructed caliber cards. I mean, it doesn't make any damn sense. But you go back and some of them have spiked up over several dollars once the Planeswalker decks stop being sold. So if you want to, you could always just keep some of those cards as a spec. This is not a channel about speculation, though. I'm not saying you should speculate, but if you want tickets, this is a cheaper way to get tickets. So anyways, now I've made this new trade binder, or, you know, added cards to the trade binder to go hit up quality cards and see if it's actually going to pay me. This is always kind of suspenseful with MTGO wiki price. Sometimes the bots actually are not buying what the listing said they would, but in this case, they are. They're buying all of them. That's the price we wanted, $436. And so, yeah, let's grab this. And it turns out that it's exactly 20 tickets, which means I don't even have to worry about change at this weird bot. I just get the 20 tickets and I walk away. That's pretty sweet. But the fact that it only wanted 4 of the Swab Goblin and the Angrath's ambushers, that means that I'm going to have to sell the others at GoatBots, which is no big deal. I mean, again, the whole thing would still be profitable even if I was only selling at GoatBots. This is just a little bit of gravy, these 20 tickets, because it's a little bit better than I would have gotten at GoatBots. Going back to goats. Now, of course, this method of buying tickets doesn't scale very well. If you're buying more than a couple of Planeswalker decks, it's just not going to work well for you. And that's because, again, when you're selling like more than 4 cards at a time to GoatBots, it adjusts the price against you. But if you're just looking to get, you know, 15, 16, 17 tickets for one more league, this is the most efficient way to buy tickets in terms of money. Obviously not very efficient in terms of time. And then the one last thing is to sell these boosters. Each Planeswalker deck comes with 2 boosters. And we discussed it right at the beginning of the show. They're pretty cheap for this set. They're quite low, probably because lots of people are cashing in Planeswalkers decks like this. So let's go ahead and dump these. Again, if you wanted to speculate that it could go higher, you could speculate. I mean, we're already actually ahead without even selling the boosters, which is pretty remarkable. This is unusually good. Normally, I expect just to get a few more tickets than the $15 worth. But checking the prices, GoatBots is probably the best you could do. You could get a penny more on a bot on wiki price, but if you don't have a history with that bot, there's no sense in giving it extra credit. Whereas with me, GoatBots is used so frequently, the credits are solid. So let's just go ahead and dump these, and that should give us 6 more tickets, and overall a very good haul. So there you have it. We turned $29.98 into 40 tickets, which means better than 75%. Actually, it's a little bit better than that even, because it wasn't just the tickets. We also have a little bit of loose change added to GoatBots. And then, of course, we have all of these cards still. And there's not really very much there. I mean, the real rares that are in these pre-constructed decks are usually very cheap. Vanquisher's Banner, I mean, you can see is worth a few cents. I'm just going to sit on it. I mean, if you want to liquidate everything, absolutely everything, I mean, go nuts. But I just wanted to get the tickets out, and I don't think it makes a lot of sense to chase these last pennies now that we, you know, have obtained the 10 tickets profit that we set out to do at the beginning. So again, this isn't a method that scales very well. It isn't always available, but I do think about 90% of the time, if you're just looking to buy somewhere in the vicinity of 17 tickets, the best you could possibly do is to buy a Planeswalker deck. And if you want it to be simple, I mean, obviously the simplest thing to do is just use the interface, pay $1, or if you're evading taxes, to use one of the third-party sites. That's the easiest thing to do. You could also try to buy tickets not through a reputable site, but through a listing on the marketplace, for example. I do not recommend that. I did it years and years ago, like 2004, and you know, then later got a notice from Wizards saying, well, this is based on a stolen credit card or something. And I was lucky because they refunded my tickets in that case, because I kept a chain showing that I was a bona fide purchaser on PayPal. But I don't know if they would do the same today. Certainly PayPal is not interested in that. Digital objects are not covered by their policy, and they don't want to deal with it. If you're a victim of fraud, PayPal's not going to help. So I'd use either a reputable site, including the client itself, or this method. Doesn't involve any third parties, no counterparty risk in that sense. You're just buying decks. Anyways, until next time, this is MTGO Life Hacks.